Hello and welcome to another video. It's been a while since we filmed. I think the last video we posted was right before Christmas. So I hope you've had a wonderful start to the year. I've spent my time here in Costa Rica being at home with my mom and my family and friends and cats, and I've been having a great time being here. When I'm in Australia, there are so many different vegan alternatives and so many different protein powders and superfood powders and different gluten-free flours and tempeh and tofu and nutritional yeast. I mean, you can find all these things at the supermarket, so they're very accessible and they are relatively cheap. So we do love including these things just because we enjoy them. But when I come back home, things are a bit harder to find, but it doesn't mean that you can't follow a plant-based lifestyle. I think all these little things like having access to certain superfood powders are all extras to a healthy diet, and they are not necessary. So when I'm here, I go back to basics. And that's when I realized that a plant-based diet can be as cheap or as expensive as you want it to be, and as easy or as complicated as you want it to be. So I just wanted to show you the 7 foods that I love having almost every single day. These are some of the most nutrient-dense foods out there. They're also very cheap and very accessible. So you can go to the supermarket or to the farmer's market and get everything you need, stock up your fridge, and call it a day. The first food I'm going to talk about is one of the cheapest foods on the planet, and those are legumes. I don't think a day goes by in which I don't have at least one serving of beans or chickpeas or lentils. They are so versatile. They are the most nutritious carbohydrate out there. They are filled with protein and iron. They're also very high in resistant starch, which is really good for your gut bacteria. And they're just very satisfying. So we love having rice and beans. We love making burritos, lentil stews, chickpea curries, hummus. We love sometimes even putting cannellini beans into our smoothies to make them more nutrient dense and more filling. I mean, the list goes on and on. We love buying our beans in bulk. We love filling up like a 2-liter jar full of black beans or chickpeas, red lentils, whatever it is. It just means it's cheaper. There's less packaging involved, and it just means that I'm stocked up for like an entire month, which is really nice. We love cooking our own beans because it means that we can control the salt, the flavoring. We can soak them for a couple of days, which gets rid of that phytic acid and makes them easier to digest. We also love sprouting some of our legumes. My favorite ones to sprout are the lentils. You just soak them for a day and then keep them in a colander and just wash them twice a day, and they start to sprout, and then you can put them in the fridge.
How pretty do they look like that, all sprouting? Now we're gonna kill them.
So yeah, beans, so good, so cheap, and such a crucial part of my diet every single day. Seeds are so good for you. They're so tiny, but they have so much nutrition in them. And again, they're so versatile, and there's so many different seeds to choose from. I love all of them. I love chia seeds, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, hemp seeds, whatever is available to you. I get them and sprinkle them on everything, because that's what I do. I love sprinkling seeds on my porridge, on my savory meals, on my salads. It's really good to have a healthy fat in there so that the absorption of nutrients from all your other veggies or fruits or whatever you're having is more efficient. I also use seeds for seed cycling, and this is a way of balancing hormones naturally and alleviating PMS. And I just grind heaps of seeds every single day, and then usually just put them on top of my porridge, and it just tastes really good. I love having chia seeds and chia pudding for breakfast. That's one of my go-to breakfasts. I love using chia seeds for dessert as like a chocolate pudding with a little bit of cacao. Love using flax seeds. Flaxseed is one of those that you do have to grind before having so that they don't go straight through you and you can actually absorb all their nutrients and the omega-3s from them. I love grinding my seeds as I go just because I like them fresh, but I know that that's not realistic for a lot of people. So what you can do is grind a cup of flaxseed, but make sure to put it in the fridge so that the fatty acids don't oxidize. I like keeping my seeds in the fridge or the freezer, and I do this just so that they last longer and the natural oils and fatty acids in them don't go rancid. So yeah. Get whatever seed is accessible to you. You don't need to have all the seeds in the world. My favorite ones are definitely chia seeds and flax seeds because of their omega-3s and because I can always find them. Hemp seeds, I love hemp seeds, but I do find them a little bit expensive, so it's not something that I buy all the time. And I definitely love pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds and sesame seeds as well. Tahini, we use them in all kinds of dressings. So whatever you can find, use that. This is one of my favorite foods of all time. I think I've always adored mushrooms. Sauteing mushrooms with a little bit of coconut oil and garlic. Nothing beats that smell. I've always loved them, but I think it was only until recently that I made it a priority or a habit to have them quite frequently. I try and have them every other day. No problem with that because I love putting them on everything. And I started doing this because I started learning more about this mesmerizing kingdom. Mushrooms are quite powerful. When you have them, they activate your own natural immune defenses, so they're really good for your immune system, really high in antioxidants, really high in protein and fiber, and they taste amazing. So every time I see them at the supermarket, I make sure to take some with me. What I usually find are the white button mushrooms, the creminis, and the portobellos. There's so many studies, and even that the common mushroom, the white button mushroom, has many of the benefits than some of the more exotic ones. Like I said, I saute them in a little bit of coconut oil, some garlic, and I like to put like a little drizzle of tamari and have that on toast with avocado. So good. So the next food I'm going to talk about are berries, and I love berries. I have these every single day for breakfast, and I'm very lucky that here in Costa Rica I can find organic blackberries and they taste amazing. But in Australia we do buy frozen ones because they are cheaper, they obviously last longer, and I have heard that frozen foods are more nutrient dense than those that have been sitting at the supermarket for a couple of days, just because they are picked at their prime and then they're frozen straight away. So we love buying frozen berries, a bag of mixed frozen organic berries. Once again, these are very high in antioxidants, they're anti-inflammatory, and they taste amazing. I love having the frozen ones because when I make a smoothie, it makes it nice and thick like ice cream. I also love having them on top of porridge. I love making berry chia jam. It's really good on toast and pancakes. They're really good for you. Find whatever is abundant in your country, and there's so many different kinds. There's blackberries, strawberries, blueberries. Obviously some are more nutrient dense and more high in antioxidants than other ones, but just do what you can. So I know that in a lot of places finding berries isn't as easy, and not even frozen berries are accessible, or they might be just too expensive. So what I would say to that is just find whatever fruit that is available to you. They're all high in antioxidants, high in fiber, they taste amazing. So have some fruit every day. They're the ultimate fast food. And if you've watched any of our videos, you'll know that we use a ridiculous amount of onion and garlic, and that's just because I love them so much. They add so much flavor to every meal. They are so cheap, you can find them anywhere, and they are like the very underrated superfood because they are anti-inflammatory, they're antiseptic, they're really high in antioxidants once again. And I actually, every time that I feel like I might be getting sick, all I have to do is just smash 2 cloves of garlic, add some lemon juice, and just munch on them. It means that when I wake up, I have the worst breath known to man, but I also feel as if nothing had ever happened, and I feel amazing. So add heaps of garlic and heaps of onion into all of your dishes. That's what I do anyway. And I can't imagine starting a savory dish without some sauteed onion and garlic. So the next thing I'm going to talk about are obviously greens. They're one of the most nutrient dense foods on the planet. They're high in protein, high in calcium, high in heaps of minerals, high in fiber that your gut bacteria loves munching on. The greens I love having the most here are spinach. It's a really nice, thick and sturdy spinach, and it just tastes so good. I also love having rocket, and I also make sure to include herbs because I think herbs are really underrated as well. They pack a nutrient punch. They are so good for you, and they can transform a meal. Adding basil, rocket, mint, coriander, parsley. Parsley is one of my favorite ones. I love adding parsley into smoothies as well. So good for you. Buy whatever is in season in your country. Buy whatever's available at the farmer's market. I do make sure that my greens are organic, and when I go to the farmer's market and it's what's local to where I live, I can get them for quite cheap. And anytime I find bulk spinach, I do love buying heaps of it, but I know I can't get through it in a single week. So what I do is that I freeze half of it and I just put them in smoothies. I store my greens in glass Tupperware containers. I think that's what works the best. My greens last me an entire week. I mean, by Sunday they are still crisp and fresh. So I do that, and I take off that little rubber band because usually they come with a little something tying them together, and I find that when the greens are all bunched up together, they do tend to wilt quicker. Herbs are a little bit more delicate. I do put them in Tupperware containers as well, but when I can see that they're wilting a little bit, all I have to do is just put them in a little glass with water and they come to life, and then I eat them straight away. But definitely as well, if there's any greens that you just love putting in your smoothies, just freeze them straight away rather than letting them wilt and sit in the fridge. So in the greens, I'm gonna quickly mention cruciferous vegetables. I especially love broccoli. I can find broccoli anywhere, and having a little dose of cruciferous vegetables every single day, it's great for your digestion, great for your gut bacteria. Really good. So last but not least, one of the things that I make sure to have every single day or almost every day are probiotics, some sort of fermented food. Now, being Costa Rica, I don't think I found anything at the supermarket, at least, or at the farmer's market that is a probiotic rich food, and that is more than fine, because it just means that I have to make my own sauerkraut, and it is the easiest thing to make. You just need a cabbage, some sea salt, and a little bit of thyme so you can massage that sea salt into the cabbage, and then you chuck it into a jar and let it ferment from like 4 to 15 days, depending on how warm it is where you are. There's a few more steps than that, just the little things that you have to keep in mind, but there's a million recipes online. We have a recipe in our ebook. And it's just the easiest thing to make. So sauerkraut is definitely one of my favorite probiotic and prebiotic rich foods that I love putting on top of anything savory. Love having it on toast, love having it on top of curries, salads, whatever it is. It really adds like a different dimension of flavor. It's like crunchy but a little bit soft and like quite acidic. It's delicious and so good for you. There's obviously other fermented foods that some people can get in their local grocery store, things like tempeh and miso and kimchi and dairy-free yogurt. These aren't things that I can necessarily find here very easy or for cheap anyway, so I just stick to my sauerkraut and know that that is more than fine. So that was it. Those are the foods that we love having every day or every other day. It doesn't mean that we always have these foods. It just means that we have a little list, our little go-tos that we know we can always find, and we like to keep our fridge stocked up on those things. I think the key definitely is variety, but I mean that comes when you eat locally and when you eat simply. The greens will change, the vegetables, you can definitely eat more beans one week and eat more lentils the next week, and that's how you keep it interesting, I think. I just wanted to show that following a plant-based diet or a plant-based lifestyle, it doesn't have to be as hard as Instagram makes it look. I know that when I'm scrolling, I'm like, holy shit, these are some amazing recipes out there. It is great to be creative, but it doesn't mean that that's the norm. I mostly eat from Monday to Friday. I eat rice and beans and salad and have some overnight oats with some berries for breakfast, and I love it. My digestion has never been better. I'm fully satisfied with everything I'm eating. Yes, you don't have to complicate yourself. You don't have to buy heaps of specialty items that you can only get at specialty stores, and they're really expensive, and you don't have to buy all these superfood powders to be healthy. You just have to stick to basic whole foods. I hope you find this inspiring. I hope you found some ideas on how to integrate these foods into your daily diet, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to quickly thank you everyone who sent such beautiful messages regarding the newsletter that we sent out for New Year's. I'm so glad you resonated with it. If you do want to join the newsletter, it's completely free. I'll leave a link in the description box below. We send them out every 2 weeks, and we just give some recommendations on books and music and anything we feel like writing about. So yeah, that is all for now.